There's something kind of wild about how hard we chase the things we want. More money, more love, more clarity, more peace. We run after it all like we're sprinting through life, hoping that if we just try hard enough, hold on tight, enough and push harder, we'll finally get there. But what if the truth is the complete opposite? What if the real secret is this? Relax, and everything you want starts coming to you. I know, that might sound like some overly spiritual cliche, but bear with me for a moment, because this is where it gets real. There's a strange power in letting go, in softening your grip on things, and choosing to breathe instead of chase. And this isn't just some law of attraction idea floating around Instagram. Ancient Stoic philosophers, the ones who practiced calm under pressure, detachment from outcome, and deep emotional discipline, they were onto this thousands of years ago. They understood something that so many of us forget: that control is an illusion. And when you fight what you can't control, you only suffer. But when you release, you create space. Space for peace. Space for clarity. And maybe most surprisingly, space for the very things you desire to finally arrive. It's kind of like that moment you stop obsessing over a text from someone you like, and then out of nowhere, it shows up. That job you thought slipped through your fingers comes back. That idea you were trying to force flows easily when you least expect. There's a reason for that, and it's not magic, it's alignment. It's wisdom, and it's something you're about to understand fully and clearly. So today I want to walk you through how Stoic philosophy can help you manifest more by doing less, by relaxing instead of reaching, and by mastering one simple truth. When your energy is calm, your life becomes magnetic. So if you've ever found yourself trying so hard to get something, and no matter how much effort you pour into it, it just won't come your way, this video is for you, because we're not just talking about philosophy here. We're talking about a shift in how you live, how you think, and how you allow good things to come to you without forcing them. We're going to look at how Stoic thinkers like Epictetus and Marcus Aurelius mastered this mindset, how relaxation becomes a superpower when you apply it with intention, and how you can start seeing change without stress, without chaos, and without clinging to what you can't control. Before we begin, I would appreciate it if you liked the video, so you can help me continue spreading knowledge. If you haven't subscribed yet, I highly recommend you do so and activate the bell so you don't miss any future videos on Stoicism and self-improvement. Let's get into it. Let's talk about your nervous system for a second. Why relaxation actually works, scientifically and energetically. It might sound strange at first that relaxation can help you manifest what you want in life, because we're taught the opposite, right? Push harder, grind more, don't stop until you get there. But here's the thing, your mind doesn't work best under pressure, and neither does your nervous system. When you're in a state of constant tension, stress hormones like cortisol flood your system. Your breathing gets shallow, your thoughts race, and your focus narrows down to survival mode. You're not manifesting in that state, you're reacting. Now compare that to when you're relaxed, grounded, steady. That's when your brain shifts into a calmer state. Alpha waves kick in, and your mind becomes more open, creative, and aware. This is when you start noticing opportunities you would have missed. This is when your reticular activating system, the part of your brain that filters what's important, begins showing you things that align with your quiet, focused intention. It's not some woo-woo magic, it's biology working in your favor when you stop forcing things. Think of it like this. Have you ever been searching everywhere for your keys, tearing apart your room, flipping cushions, stressing out? And then, when you finally stop looking and sit down to think, you suddenly remember exactly where they are. That's how it works. When you stop chasing, your mind stops panicking and starts processing. Now tie that into manifestation. When you obsess over an outcome, you lock yourself into one vision, but when you relax, you become flexible, open, receptive. The Stoics understood this in their own way. They taught that peace comes from aligning with nature, with what is not, instead of clinging to what we want it to be. And ironically, that mindset shift is exactly what allows what you want to find its way to you, because your energy changes. You're not desperate, you're not chasing, you're simply ready. Relaxation isn't weakness, it's a signal to your mind and to the world that you trust yourself and that you're already enough, even before the goal arrives. That kind of energy, it draws things in without you having to chase them down. Now let's connect this to ancient wisdom, how Stoicism and manifestation are actually on the same team. Now you might be wondering, how does Stoicism, an ancient philosophy built on discipline and self-control, connect with something like manifestation? That's a great question, and the answer might surprise you, because Stoicism isn't about suppressing your desires or pretending you don't want anything. It's about changing your relationship with desire so it doesn't control you. One of the core teachings from Epictetus is what's known as the dichotomy of control. It's simple, but life-changing. He said, "There are things within your control and things outside of your control. Peace, real peace, comes from knowing the difference and acting only on what's yours to influence." Let that settle in for a second, because that alone can flip your entire approach to manifestation. Most people get stuck obsessing over the things they can't control, the timing, the outcome, whether someone likes them back, whether the business takes off in 6 months. But the Stoic path reminds you, your role is not to force things, it's to align your thoughts, actions, and energy, and let the results come naturally, in their own time. That mindset shift alone, it removes the resistance. Let me give you a quick example. Let's say you're manifesting a new job. Instead of panicking about when the offer will come, or stressing every day when you don't hear back, you shift your focus to what's within your control, updating your resume, preparing your mindset, building your skills, and trusting that the right opportunity will meet your readiness. No forcing, no begging, no desperation. And that's where Stoicism meets manifestation. You hold the vision, but with light hands. You take the actions, but without anxiety. You trust the process, because you know your peace doesn't depend on the outcome. Marcus Aurelius, one of the greatest Stoic emperors, once said, "The impediment to action advances action. What stands in the way becomes the way." In other words, obstacles don't stop you, they shape you. And sometimes the delay is the training, the waiting is the sharpening, the stillness is the preparation for everything you asked for. When you stop resisting reality, when you stop clinging to every detail, you start creating from a place of real power, a place where your peace is unshakable and your energy becomes magnetic. So no, Stoicism doesn't say, don't manifest. It simply teaches you how to want things without being controlled by them. And that is how you relax and allow everything you want to come to you. This one's hard but powerful. Letting go is not giving up. It's letting things flow. Letting go, it's such a simple idea, but it can feel like the hardest thing in the world, especially when we care deeply about the outcome. You want something so badly, a relationship to work out, a career breakthrough, clarity on your next move, and when it's not coming fast enough, your instinct is to hold on tighter, to think about it more, stress more, try to control every possible angle. But what if that very energy, that tight grip, is actually what's pushing it away? Here's the truth most people don't want to hear. Desperation repels. Calm attracts. When you're full of anxious wanting, your energy says, I don't have it yet, I'm incomplete without it. And that energy spreads into how you speak, how you move, how you make decisions. But when you let go, and I mean really let go, something shifts. It doesn't mean you stop caring. It means you stop obsessing. You release the outcome because you trust the process. You trust yourself. You trust life to bring what's meant for you in the way that's best for you, even if it's not how you imagined. And this is exactly where Stoicism becomes your greatest teacher. Epictetus said, freedom is the only worthy goal in life. It is won by disregarding things that lie beyond. Or control. Let that sink in for a second. Freedom doesn't come from getting what you want. It comes from not needing to control what you can't. And ironically, that's when you start receiving what you wanted all along. Let me tell you a quick story. There was a time I wanted something so badly, an opportunity I was convinced would change everything. I tried all the manifestation techniques, visualizing, scripting, even obsessing a little, but nothing was happening. So eventually, I just let it go. I stopped checking my inbox. I stopped trying to make it happen. I got quiet and focused on feeling good again. And then, out of nowhere, it showed up, easily, naturally, because when I let go of needing it, I finally made space for it to arrive. Tell me in the comments, have you ever had something show up the moment you stopped chasing it? I'd love to hear your story, because that's what we're doing here. Not chasing, just becoming the version of ourselves that no longer has to beg the universe. We just receive calmly. Now let's talk imagination, the Stoic way. Visualization, without the woo. Visualization is one of those ideas that gets misunderstood all the time. People think it means sitting in a corner, closing your eyes, and wishing really hard that something magical will happen. But if you look at it through the lens of Stoicism, it's actually much deeper and far more grounded. The Stoics had their own form of visualization, something called premeditatio malorum, which means premeditation of evils. They would mentally rehearse things going wrong, not because they were negative, but because they believed that by calmly picturing adversity, they could emotionally prepare themselves. They could stay steady, no matter what came their way. Now let's flip that, because you can also use visualization to imagine the life you want. Not from a place of lack, but from a place of quiet confidence. You're not begging the universe. You're becoming someone who's ready for what they want, because they've already felt it. Try this sometime. Instead of just picturing your dream life in some distant future, imagine it as if you're living it now, but calmly. Feel what it's like to walk into that new home, to have that peaceful relationship, to wake up with purpose, not pressure. And here's the key. Don't get overly excited. Don't overhype it. Just feel it like it's normal, like it's already part of your life. Because the Stoic approach isn't about wild emotions or fantasy. It's about grounding into your intention and staying calm, even as you imagine the best. You don't need to scream your desires into the universe. You just need to align your inner world with the version of you that already has it. That's the Stoic way. Steady, clear, focused, not hoping, but becoming. And that's a whole different kind of manifestation. You can want more and still stay chill How to stay calm while wanting more from life. It's one of the hardest things to figure out. How do you stay calm while still wanting more out of life? Because on one hand, you've got goals, dreams, desires, things you deeply want to create. And on the other, everyone keeps telling you, just be grateful for what you have. So you end up stuck between two emotions, ambition and guilt. But here's the truth the Stoics understood long ago. You can want more without being restless. You can have vision without being desperate. You can grow without hating where you are right now. Calm isn't the enemy of ambition. It's the foundation of it. The Stoics practiced something beautiful. They called it apatheia, not apathy, but the ability to stay unmoved by things outside their control, while still living with purpose and intention. They weren't sitting around passively. They were showing up every day and with clarity, focused, purposeful, peaceful, and you can do the same. Wanting more doesn't make you greedy. It means you're alive. It means you care, but you don't have to rush. You don't have to prove anything. You don't have to panic every time things take longer than expected. You can breathe and still build. You can relax and still attract. And sometimes that's exactly the energy the world responds to, because when you're grounded, when you trust your timeline, when you're okay with not knowing how or when, you become magnetic, not because you're chasing more, but because you've learned how to hold the desire without holding the fear. Tell me in the comments, what's one thing you're manifesting but learning to relax about? I'd love to know what you're creating space for in your life, because that space, that peace, is often where the real transformation begins. Let's make this real and daily. A simple Stoic manifestation routine you can actually stick to. So now that we've talked about the mindset, let's talk about what this actually looks like in real life. Because philosophy isn't just something you think about once in a while, it's something you practice. And if you want to stay calm, focused, and magnetic to the things you want, you need a rhythm, a daily routine that grounds you, but doesn't overwhelm you. I call it the manifestation minimalist. Routine, it's simple, it's quiet, and it's deeply powerful when practiced consistently. Let's walk through it together. Mornings are your foundation. The moment you wake up, your mind is still in that soft, calm space between dreaming and awareness. This is when your brain is most open, most programmable. So instead of grabbing your phone or diving into stress, sit up slowly, breathe, and ask yourself one simple question: what do I want to feel today? Not what you want to achieve, not what's on your to-do list, but how do you want to feel? Peaceful, productive, grounded, loved, name it, feel it, and let it guide how you move through your day. Then write it down. Just a few lines, nothing fancy. This anchors your intention. And remember, in Stoicism, intention is everything. Midday is your checkpoint. Around lunch or sometime in the afternoon, check in with yourself. Pause for 2 minutes. Ask, am I clinging or am I allowing? Am I stressed or present? No judgment, just awareness. If you find yourself spiraling into anxiety or frustration, do a soft reset. Stand up, stretch, breathe in slowly for 4 counts, hold, and breathe out for 6. Remind yourself that everything is unfolding exactly as it needs to. That's Stoic awareness, not controlling the storm, but adjusting your sails. Evenings are where the magic really sinks in. This is when you reflect, not with guilt, not with harshness, but with presence. Sit in quiet for a few moments before bed. Think back on the day and ask, where did I stay calm today? Where did I react more than I wanted to? What can I let go of before I sleep? This final question is big, Because your sleep is where your subconscious gets to work, and going to bed with a clear heart is one of the most powerful things you can do for your mind. Letting go at night isn't just spiritual, it's neurological. It tells your brain, we're safe, we don't need to carry this anymore. Over time, this routine doesn't just help you relax, it helps you rewire. You begin to show up calmer, you make decisions with more clarity. You stop grasping so hard at what you want, and you start letting it arrive. Because remember, you don't attract what you obsess over, you attract what you're at peace with, and that peace can become your practice. And now a reminder, you already have enough. Final thoughts. You're closer than you think, so here we are. Maybe what you've been searching for isn't as far away as it feels. Maybe it's already circling around you, waiting for you to slow down, get still, and become the version of yourself that's ready to receive it. That's the real power of Stoicism when it comes to manifestation. It's not about being passive, and it's not about pretending you don't care. It's about learning to care deeply without being consumed. It's about wanting more without needing it to prove your worth. It's about letting go, not because you've given up, but because you've grown into enough peace to trust the process. You don't need to chase every goal at full speed. You don't need to overthink every outcome. And you definitely don't need to cling to what isn't ready for you. When you relax, when you breathe, when you focus on what you can control and release what you can't, you stop sending out anxious energy, and you start radiating calm, and that calm is magnetic. It's what brings people, opportunities, and solutions toward you without you having to scream for them. So the next time you feel like you're falling behind, or things aren't happening fast enough, or your manifestation isn't showing up the way you thought it would, pause, close your eyes, and say to yourself, I trust the timing of my life. I relax, and I allow. That right there is the Stoic way of manifesting. If you found value in this video, please like, subscribe, and turn on notifications, so you never miss future insights on Stoicism and self-improvement. And in the comments, let me know what you're learning to let go of, or what you're finally ready to allow in your life by relaxing just a little more. Thank you for watching. And remember, you already have everything within you. The rest will come when you're ready.